I'm beginning to do some work to restore my Power Fordson Major. Now it's 75 years old, so obviously the tin work is getting a bit past its best. Not all of it, like the nose cone and the wings. Now, the wings on Fordson Majors have always had a weak area. They often rot through towards the bottom. Now, you can buy new wings, about £400 for a pair of new wings, to be perfectly honest. It's well worth it. It saves a lot of time. You just put the paint on and bolt them on. There's nothing wrong with that. But that tractor's 75 years old. And if I repair the wings, keep them going longer, those wings could get to 100 years old. Now, it's very possible that I will be around when that tractor reaches 100 years old, and it would be very nice to point to it and say, those wings, those mudguards, that nose cone, those are original. They are 100 years old. They've had a bit of work, but they've got there. That would be quite satisfying, and I think Henry Ford himself would be very pleased. So how do we go about restoring a set of wings? Well, the ideal thing would be to weld them up, probably gas welding, and trim out all the rusty poor sections and weld in new everywhere you could. It would take quite a bit of considerable time and effort to do that. Now there is another method, which I prefer, because one of the problems with welding something as old as this, when it's quite rotten anyway, is you haven't got much to weld to. You're often welding to something that's half rotten and hasn't got much life itself. So my preferred option is to make plates and supportive brackets behind the mudguard and bolt them on. You just simply drill holes and nut and bolt. It's practical, it's serviceable, and if I need to do further work down the line, you can unbolt and put more in or add to as required. You see, with a classic tractor, you can go to whatever standard you want. You can put the new wings on, you can go for what with a car would be called contour standard. You could make it look better than the day it came out of the factory, and you'd be scared to get it dirty. And if that's what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. Myself, I like the term practical classic, where you're not scared of getting something dirty. You can have some pleasure from using it. So, these mudguards, what I want to do is to cut the rotten bits out and replace with good strong steel. Plates on the outer surface and some supportive brackets behind them. Rub them right down, get all those layers of paint off. They were originally, when the tractor was new, they were blue. They got painted white in the 1970s at some point, and I want to return those colours to the original Empire blue. Looking good. Now we can just give it a few more top coats, get a nice shine on it, but it's quite serviceable. Nice and solid now. So as you can see from that video, we've rubbed those mudguards right down. I've cut the rot and the rust out of them. I've made some plates for the front and I've made some supportive brackets behind. They are now fitted. It's all firmed up and stiffened up fine. It doesn't flex around. It's a pretty good solid job. It's got years of life left in it. It's got to have a few more finishing coats and then it'll be fitted back to the tractor.